This is Umar for BoxNation. In fact, it's the first time I've had George Fox on since I joined BoxNation, so welcome.
Thank you.
Massive fight week to come on, George. Let's just get straight to the point. So, a rumour did circulate yesterday that your father, Don Charles, wouldn't be in the corner for Daniel Dubois, and there was a split, there was a family fallout with Daniel's dad, etc. So, tell me the truth.
Yeah, honestly, I was actually unaware of the rumours. I keep myself kind of in my own little bubble. Woke up this morning to a couple of Insta DMs talking about it, and no, there's no truth in it at all. There's been no fallout. Daniel's father, my dad, in touch every day. It's literally my dad's got a cold. We don't know, some kind of virus, so he's staying away from Daniel. Precautionary. As you know, it's such a massive event. We'll never forgive ourselves. All of a sudden, Daniel got sick fight week and had to go into a fight of this magnitude, unhealthy, not 100%. So it's literally, that is all there is to say on that, man.
I mean, your dad could have been selfish. I mean, he's thinking of the fighter. This is a monumental fight week, the biggest fight this country's seen for God knows how long. And your dad, I'm sure, wanted to be a part of the whole week, but did the right thing, keeping himself away from Daniel if he's ill.
Yeah, no, sure. This is part of history. Massive, like everyone keeps saying, 96,000 people at Wembley. It's a massive part of history, and even me, I'm a bigger. It's a bigger sort of fault of my own. I don't reflect enough, and we have to enjoy the journey in life. Whatever one does, be it massive events like this, be it your day-to-days, be it spending time with family, the journey is everything. And even though this can seem like a destination, being such a massive singular event, being part of the whole process is obviously a blessing. And unfortunately, he couldn't be a part of fight week, so that's a frustration for him. But there is a bigger picture, and he's not a selfish person. He's a very selfless person, a man who's constantly sacrifices time, energy, resources for the betterment of his family, myself, for his fighters, and he will continue to do that till the day he dies. Hope that's a long time from now.
Absolutely. George, there's been a clear difference in Daniel Dubois since the Usyk fight. I'm specifically referring to Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgović. And Daniel's the fighter, he gets in there, the credit's got to be with him because he's got to do it mentally. But clearly your father has had a massive impact on him outside the ring as well, in a mental capacity, maybe even as a second father to him. So just talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive part of my dad's, I suppose, game. But it's not even, I say game. Game almost suggests that it's inorganic. My dad just naturally, he's a man motivator, Mr. Motivator. He knows how to get into a fighter's psyche, to give them that self-belief, and it's all within. If you're a heavyweight boxer and this is the walk that you've chosen in life, this is your career path, it's within you. It's just about unearthing that, channeling it, understanding yourself, knowledge yourself, becoming, innate, having that innate confidence, and bringing it to the fore. And he's done that throughout his career, and he'll continue to do so. It's just, I think, part of his spirit. And in terms of, I'm not going to put titles on it in terms of second father or this or that, but he's someone by his actions and by his words who sets a standard, and people walk with that standard.
Talk to me about Daniel's jab. I've spoken to Fraser Clark, Moses Italma, lots of top British heavyweights, and they say Daniel's got one of the best jabs they've been in with, not just because it's so spiteful and accurate, but it feels like a right hand, a backhand. Just talk to me about his jab.
So I was just saying on another interview, in terms of, like, I've sparred everyone in boxing, to be honest with you, heavyweights, from Daniel to Joe Joyce, to Dillian White to AJ was like when I was young, but Fury and loads of rounds. And one thing I can always say, whether I've achieved the biggest highs in boxing or not, one thing I can say, I've never been dropped by anyone, I've never taken a knee, I've never been amateur pro sparring ever. But Daniel's the only person in the ring that's rocked me, and he hit me with a left hook, and his jab does feel like a right hand, and the kid really whacks. And I was just saying in the previous conversation, that punching power is what makes this fight interesting, because we can all say AJ's the favourite, AJ's got this resume and he has this standing in boxing, and he does, and credit to him for what he's done. But Daniel's a live threat. Daniel's someone who can knock you out either hand, pretty much any shot. He can knock someone out of a jab for sure if he times it right. So yeah, he has to be taken seriously, which I'm sure he is, by the way.
The narrative that's being pushed is, I guess, because of the Hrgović fight, the early rounds where Daniel shipped a lot of shots, a lot of right hands, is that Daniel has to get through those early rounds against Joshua. Do you agree with that?
Listen, this fight here, if you're going to break it down technically, for me, it's fairly simple. Not in terms of passage to win, but passage not to lose. Does that make sense? So Daniel is going to be super sharp on his entries, on his exits, unpredictable of when he's going to come forward, has to be super conscious of his left-hand placement. We all know that AJ likes to throw that pull back right hand where he steps and throws it. We all know that, we've seen it, particularly against Southpaw. He likes that shot. As soon as Ngannou went to Southpaw stance, he cracked him with it, cracked Otto Wallen with it multiple times, Charles Martin. So we're familiar with the shot. It's all about that unpredictability. And I think as great, and I've always said this, I'm aware of AJ's strengths. He's an ultimate professional. But like anyone else, everyone has weaknesses. Every single person on this planet has weaknesses, and Daniel's punching power can draw out those fragilities that exist within him. And when you feel that weight of hand with 10-ounce gloves on, I want to see the response, and if he's then able to be as surgical as he typically is. But yeah, Daniel's going to have to be conscious for sure, because AJ can take you out with a single shot himself, and he loves the sweet science. He studies well, and he will be prepared for sure.
Last question, because you actually mentioned Daniel dropped you with a left hook.
No, I never said drop me. I said rocked me.
Oh,
I've never been dropped.
I thought you said drop.
I started the whole thing by saying I never been dropped. Pro, amateur, spot.
Sorry,
never.
I thought you said that you sparred everyone and Daniel's the only one to drop you.
Rocked. I got the little white light. Zing, hit me with a left. I was like, okay, he can punch. But yeah, no, not dropped.
Okay, so Daniel buzzed you with a left hook.
Yeah. I got a big, massive head. That's why it's hard to drop. And big legs. I'm about 140 kilos, so it's not easy.
We've seen Joshua in there with Dillian Whyte, been buzzed by a left hook. Andy Ruiz obviously dropped him with a left hook. Do you reckon maybe the punch that could do it for Daniel?
You know what? It could be any punch. For me, that's my money shot. As in, what if I were to put something on it, it would be that shot. But it could be any shot. I'm not here to predict a specific shot that's going to do the job on the night.
I'm just thinking when they're close engaged, Daniel's left hand.
On the night, AJ's very sharp in the trade, and we know a lot of his set patterns. When he's in the trade, he's got a little right uppercut, left hook combo that he likes to throw when he's in the trade. When he's in mid-range, we know what he likes to do. When he's long range, we know what he likes to do. But on the night, it's up to Daniel to execute those things, to be aware of those things. And for me to tell you what shot is going to work, I couldn't, because it all depends on the cues, on the tells, on what AJ's doing, where his hand position is, the mistakes he's making, if he's biting on the feints, all these kind of things we'll figure out on fight night. But the fortunate thing from Daniel's perspective is because he's so heavy-handed, he can knock you out with any shot.
He won't freeze well in front of 96,000 people.
How can I say that? I just said to someone else, and Daniel would say the same. He's his own man. How one deals with the energy, the atmosphere, the expectation, the eyes, only the individual knows that. And sometimes the individual doesn't even know that until fight night. So that's why we're going to all tune in, and that's why Saturday's such a fascinating spectacle.
Well, George, thanks for clarifying the situation with your dad. Hopefully he gets a little bit better before Saturday night, but I'm sure even if he's still under the weather, he'll be in the corner.
He'll be there, for sure.
Top man, George.
Thank you, man. Take care.